Hi, welcome to another episode of Rewind Time with Brando on Pickups. Glad you're watching. Today we're going to look at this Gibson USA humbucker pickup. It is a bridge position. It's got the wider space. Now, if you'll notice, the wider space has the screws coming out, and you have a narrow space hole on the other side of the base plate here. So these base plates are interchangeable. That way Gibson doesn't have to separate the base plates. They can just pull base plates out of the bin because they make the two, different spacings. I believe that's 50 millimeter and I'm going to say 53 millimeter, 52 or 53. I don't remember which that is. But anyway, yeah, the bridge position here. The pickup's dead. I already tested it, and it doesn't look like the cover's ever been off. 9 times out of 10, this is just something in there that maybe there's a cold solder or a wire was kind of sticking out of the bobbin a little bit, that the original manufacturers, they didn't see it. I don't know. It's just something really simple usually happens with these, and it's just enough to kill it down the road a little bit. So we're going to open up and see what's going on, and I'll let you know what I find here in a second. So I took the humbucker apart and I went ahead and I found the bad coil. Here it is. And one thing about these Gibson humbuckers, they are so wax pot. They do a great job wax potting these pickups. It's really easy to pull. You see those two leads out, the black and the white? That's the finish and the start. The finish is the white, start is the black. It's really, 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 really easy to just pull those right out and break the lead wire, the coil wire rather, onto the leads, because that wax is so slippery. It's so easy to do. So you got to be super careful of that. And now the old vintage Gibson, like I would say pre-80s, had that real sticky 3M tape, Scotch 3M company tape. It was a real heavy adhesive. That is so sticky nowadays. If you take one of those apart, it's got that real thick black residue, and if you get that on your carpet, good luck getting that off. That's one of those nasty, weird funk tar situations. Believe me, I've done it. I took some tape apart off an old pickup. I didn't know it got stuck to the bottom of my shoe, and I smeared it on the carpet upstairs. It was a battle to get that. I had to call a professional to remove that black stain. Anyway, about the old vintage tape, let's talk more about this super waxed up coil. I'm going to go ahead and take this coil apart, take the tape off. And when you try to do this on your own and you don't know what you're doing, it's real easy to break the lead in the coil wire connections on these, because if you pull the tape the wrong direction, or if you pull the wrong piece, you sometimes, when it's a waxy mess, you can't tell how many pieces you're actually pulling off, how many layers at a time you're pulling off, and you will easily break off the start wire in these coils. And if you do that, you're crap out of luck. There's nothing, you have to rewind it. But if you can avoid doing that to the start, you're in luck. You can probably fix the coil, unless there's a deep stab, or it's a really bad break. So let me find this, and I'll show you what's wrong with it. So I found the problem with this coil. So I don't know if you can see this little tiny hair right here, right there. So that's the start coil, and this black wire is the lead. And there's barely any solder on this start coil, and it just was not soldered on. The start was not soldered on to this lead very well at all. In fact, I just kind of gently pulled it apart. It was barely connected. That was the problem with this coil. The problem started at the factory and just eventually corroded enough, or someone bumped it somehow where it just lost connection and it didn't work. This is a very easy fix. What I'll do is I'll just put some solder flux on the end of this lead and re-solder this real nice and secure, re-tape this coil up, put the pickup back together, put the cover back on, and mail it out to the customer. It'll be totally repaired without even rewinding the pickup. So it's pretty much an easy fix, kind of like the vintage 72 wide range pickup I had on just the other day with black bobbins. That was an easy fix as well. Sometimes you have those days where you don't even have to rewind the coil. It's just a very simple fix. So I'll go ahead and solder this thing back together, tape it up, and put the cover back on. Well, I got it taped up and all buttoned up, ready to go back to the customer. Here it is, a nice restored shiny Gibson. It's 14K, and it's a loud one. So anyway, if you have a broken pickup and you need it to be restored, doesn't matter how long it's been broken. It could have been broken for the last 50 years. Who cares? Send it to me, Brandon Wound Pickups, and I'll restore it for you. That will be it for today's episode. Please check out Zach Oswald's YouTube page for this great string debate. Also, he's got the Guitar of the Week. Listen to the Guitar Knobs podcast with me, Tony Baloney, and Todd Novak. We interview a lot of, some of them are big players and some of them are small businesses like us, Brandon Wound, and we have a good time during the podcast. So anyways, thanks again for listening in, and we'll see you on the next episode.